Ahoo, ahoo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Malika Bukechi, and welcome to the Black Power Blueprint Live. And we are coming to you today live from North St. Louis. And this is the home of the Uhuru House and Aquaba Hall, located at 4101 West Florissant Avenue. I'm sure if you are familiar with the St. Louis area, then we have the 50-foot red, black, and green flying high over there to represent the African nation. And we want to just welcome you to the Black Power Blueprint Live. We have a very, very exciting show for you tonight, based on the One African, One Nation Farmers Market. And we're going to give you an opportunity to meet some of our Black farmers. Now, you know that has got to be exciting because you are going to get to meet some of the farmers who are actually bringing this kind of activity and helping us to pull this off here in North St. Louis as we are occupying this food desert and trying to make provisions for our people to be able to have healthy fruits and vegetables and different things. So the One African, One Nation market has been held once a month since June on the first Saturday of every month. The next market is coming up on this Saturday. That's October the 2nd. This Saturday, you need to mark your calendar, call your friends, call your family, call everybody you need to call and tell them to come down. We have vendors going on. We have everything. There's going to be a DJ out there, just people gathering in the street, just having a good time. But you also be able to pick up on some produce, pick up on some items that you might want to buy, jewelry. We've had fashion, we've had fragrance, all of that. The farmers market is a part of the Black Power Blueprint, and this project is bringing economic development to North St. Louis. The community and the vendors are really enjoying the market, and there is a great feeling of freedom and community. It feels just like family. Like we said, we started having these in June, and it just gets better and better every month. I'm telling you, you need to make plans to be there. It's October 2nd. That's this Saturday. It starts at 9 a.m. and it will run through 2 o'clock, but you don't want to miss anything that's going on. We have different things going on throughout the day. Double Dutch, there is a station for the kids to play. You don't want to miss any of that. Just come out and have it feel like a great big family reunion. Not only is the Black Power Blueprint in North St. Louis bringing healthy food and produce to our neighborhood, through the One African One Nation Farmers Market, but we are also providing an opportunity for economic commerce and businesses for our community. People are building their businesses and getting a lot of support for the community. And so that's very important. The Black Power Blueprint is a joint program of the African People's Education and Defense Fund and Black Star Industries. And as I said, we are transforming North St. Louis through renovation, economic development, and political power, and for the Black community. And all of those things go together because we know that we as African people will not know liberty or dignity or anything until we recognize and realize having the power over our own lives, the power to feed, house, and clothe ourselves. In addition to the Uhuru House, directly across the street is the Gary Brooks event space and community garden. We also have property designated for an outdoor community basketball court located on College and West Florissant. And next door to that is a fourplex apartment building that has been renovated to provide housing for the African Independent Workforce Program. And this is just the beginning. I want to stop right here and give a big shout out and a salute to Chairman Omali Yeshitela and to the architect of the Black Power Blueprint and the president of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, Onazane Yeshitela, and just salute the great work that they are leading as we're carrying out this work here in North St. Louis. This is just the beginning. Our upcoming projects include an African women's health facility and retail spaces that are going to be located down the street from the Uhuru House, as well as the Jico Kitchen Cafe, which is going to be located over on Goodfellow Avenue. And this is just the beginning. So not only are we inviting you out to become a part of the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market, but we're calling on you to get involved at the work that you see that's going on. You can see the transformation that is taking place right down there on the corner of West Florissant and Alice, and that is where the market's going to be, 4031 West Florissant Avenue, and we're looking for you to come out. As I said, the Black Power Blueprint is coordinated by the powerful board president, Onazane Yeshitela, based on the vision of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who is organized throughout the world, building in the hands of the African working class for over 50 years. Now, 50 years, that's a long time to take a stand for something. But when you believe in something, which they do, which is the liberation of African people and bring economic and development to African communities and to Africans all over the world, then you'll stay in the fight, because it is so rewarding, like what we're seeing with the market coming this weekend, and that has been happening since June. We want to thank all of our thousands of donors who have contributed to these projects over the past 3.5 years, and all of you who have been vendors, volunteers, and shoppers at our farmers market this past summer. It's been a tremendous experience for us, and we want you to keep it going. We have this market coming up on the 2nd, and before the end of the night, we'll tell you about the one that's coming up after that, but we want you to come out on Saturday. So right now, we're going to hear about the One African, One Nation Farmers Market and find out about Black farmers who are doing so much to bring food, farming, and growing to our African community. So you stay tuned. But right now, I am going to turn this over to our host tonight as we spotlight the One African, One Nation Farmers Market in St. Louis, our own President Columbai Antoinette, who is the president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement, which is also located right here in St. Louis, and our guest tonight, Dr. Aisha Fields, who is the director of the All African People's Education Empowerment Project, who will be here to talk about Black farmers and growers. And she's here with us on this show as well. So we just want to welcome them. And I just want to turn this over right now to President Columbayi. Columbayi Uhuru.
Uhuru, Uhuru. Thank you, Comrade Malika. Really appreciate that dynamic welcome. And woo, I mean, I'm exhausted from listening. That is a great report. Like all the work that this amazing organization has been able to do in a very short time. I mean, but today's program. So let's get into today. I just really want to salute my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, that laid out this amazing vision that you just heard, and you will listen to more of why we intervene, and we're here in St. Louis to stay, and how we are changing the reality of the North Side every single day by market, everything that we're doing. This is a dynamic program that I am so excited about, because coming into this work, I didn't know anything about farming. So I really want to salute Deputy Chair Onizine Yeshitela, the president of APEDF, this amazing African woman that leads this amazing work that we do. This is not our first time having a One Africa, One Nation market. And so not only does she lead the work that we do here in St. Louis, but the work that we do internationally, because we're an international organization. So we're going to get into this program tonight. And joining me, I am really, really excited to welcome my comrade, Dr. Aisha Fields, that is the director of AAPDEF, which is an amazing organization under the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela, this amazing vision. And I think that in this program, you're going to come to conclusions that you got to be a part of this. You got to come to the One Africa, One Nation market. You got to shop with our vendors, meet our farmers, and you have to be part of the whole making it happen. And this is one program that is not something that people are just doing, but it is the participation of the people and how the African working class have united, that we have to be able to solve the issues of our community ourselves. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I just want to welcome Director Dr. Aisha Fields to the program with us as well. Uhuru, comrade.
Uhuru, President Columbayi, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Uhuru. Uhuru, and I also I'm so excited that I'm like almost nervous to introduce these two guests that are amazing people. And in a very short time that I have met them, they have changed my life, and I have learned so much about farming, about food, and seeing the contradiction deep in itself of why the One Africa, One Nation market is not like any other market in the world, but it is actually saying that the African working class can and have the ability to feed, clothe, and house ourselves with the right necessary resources that is, taken out of our community conveniently by the ruling class. And so I really appreciate this organization for building this and allowing us to meet, Black farmers. So I would like to introduce Mitch. Mitch is an educator. He's going to be joining us on here. He's an educator. He has a farm. He's a third generation farmer. He has retired from education, and he is a painter. And I hope that we'll be able to see, he has one of his beautiful paintings that he is an artist that he have created behind him on here as well. So we're going to be talking to Mitch, just an amazing organizer as well with farmers, building, organization, building community amongst farmers. So I'm happy that Mitch is here with us. And also right here in the studio with me, I'm excited that we have Michael Harris. Yeah. Michael Harris that has a community garden right here in the 21st Ward. And it's the ward that we are in here in St. Louis, Missouri, where the Uhuru House is. Right here in our community, Michael Harris has a community garden, and this is his first rodeo on being a vendor or selling his product to people. So we're going to talk about how that happened as well. So we have an amazing program laid out for both of you. So I really want to just really greet both of you. And I would like to start off saying, Dr. Aisha, can you just talk to us about, AAPDEF? What is it, and why it was built and things like that? Can we just go into that? Thank you.
Uhuru, President Kalambayi, thank you for that question. And first of all, I want to salute brothers Mitch and Michael. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the work that they're involved in, and hopefully deepening the connection that they have to this incredible farmers market that's been built right there in North St. Louis. And just to say that the organization APDEP, the All African Peoples Development and Empowerment Project, is a part of the Uhuru movement. It was an organization that was established by the African People's Socialist Party, which leads the Uhuru movement, which is led by our chairman, Omali Yeshitela, and which has established incredible economic institutions and programs such as the Black Power Blueprint and the One Africa, One Nation Farmers Market, and under the leadership of our deputy chair, Ona Zane Yeshitela. And so APDEP is one of many of the organizations, economic institutions and programs established by the African People's Socialist Party for Black people to become a self-determining, self-governing people again, to put the power over our lives in our own hands, And we were established in 2007 by our party with a mandate to go out into the world and win African people, win Black people who have skills that we need to develop our community. So we organize African farmers, such as brothers Mitch and Michael. We organize Africans who have skills in healthcare, doctors, nurses, and other kind of healthcare professionals, educators, people who have skills in renewable energy and other development related skills, to organize our skills to be able to develop African community-led development programs that help to improve the conditions in our communities, help to improve the conditions for African people everywhere, recognizing that the skills that we have, they don't belong to us as individuals, that the skills that we have belong to the community, and that the skills that we have to be collectivized. We have to be a part of organization with the mission to put our skills where they need to be. So I might have farming skills, for example. We got farming skills in St. Louis, might be needed in New York City to develop community gardens or garden collectives to help feed the African community. But you don't know that unless you're connected to organization that can create a network and the ability for us to bring our skills where they're needed. And the beautiful part about APDEP is that it's not just about programs, although the programs are important, but it's about being a part of the overall struggle for Black power. It's about being a part of the overall fight that we have to be involved in as African people to be a self-governing people once again, to be able to feed, clothe, and house ourselves. And so over the years, APDEP has built, I think, incredible programs in Africa and in African communities right here in the US. We build community farms, community gardens, community garden networks. We're in the process right now of establishing an APDEP community garden network where we connect with African churches to use the space that they have to create community gardens right there, on their church grounds, as a part of an overall effort led by APDEP to make sure that the African community doesn't have to live in food deserts, to make sure the African community doesn't have to rely on SNAP solely or food pantries to feed our people, but that we can put our skills to use and feed ourselves. We build a variety of other kind of programs, but tonight's focus is agriculture. So I just really want to really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this discussion and to continue to develop our capacity as a people to feed ourselves. Uhuru.
Uhuru, Uhuru, thank you. Just so amazing. Everything that APDEP has done, and I know that I'm a member of APDEP because I reunite with the mission of ABDEP and all the work, and just really understanding how important it is for us to be able to take our skills and bring it back so it counts for our community. Because I don't know how it feels really bad. It makes you feel horrible to make it and then your community don't. So to actually see our skills being brought back where it contributes to the people that we love the most, our community. Because that's why we went to school. That's why we became doctors and scientists, or wanted to start a garden, because we've seen the food desert. But how many times do it actually benefit us? And so that's why organization is important, and not just any organization, but one that is understanding that complete liberation for African people is important. So thank you for leading this amazing work and all the work that ABDEP do. And we're going to be talking more about that and getting into some statistics and some things, a conversation about right here in St. Louis, on the north side of St. Louis. I am a resident, born and raised here in St. Louis, and I know how hard it is to be able to find clean food in our community. To even just find a grocery store and, pretty much get stuck, with, if you don't have transportation, which most people of the north side are living out, the reality is 40% of the people on the north side are living off barely $5 a day. And I would question if those statistics are even right. It could be lower than that after taxes a family afford. And so you don't have transportation and you forced to go to the neighborhood corner stores that sell sugary drinks and bad food and things like that. And so this is the reality that diabetes and high blood pressure are not, diseases that are just Black diseases, but these are colonial diseases. These are diseases that are a direct attack against being able to live in food deserts. So, I wanted to know if you had any information about that, about statistics and things that we are facing right here in St. Louis.
Yeah, I appreciate you for opening that up, because I think that's important to frame this discussion, that we're not just talking about things in the abstract, but that there are real problems that we're confronted with as African people. And you're right, these are colonial conditions. So when we look at some of the statistics, like more than 38% of African people in St. Louis living below the poverty line. We can't have this discussion about food without recognizing that our people poverty has been imposed on our people. 34% of the African community reports that it's difficult to access healthy food in our neighborhoods. Almost 27%, or about 85,000 people in St. Louis, are food insecure. So that means that our people are hungry. We don't have enough food to feed our children and our families. 62.7% of our community have low access to vehicles. You spoke to that contradiction, President Kalambayi, and almost 60% of Black St. Louis is on SNAP. So just think about that. So if a major cut is made to SNAP, what would that mean for the Black community if 60% of our people rely on SNAP to feed ourselves and our children? Much of our community is forced to live on something like $5 a day. You spoke about that, which is a big difference from what the white community of St. Louis experiences. We know about the Del Mar divide, where white people have 10 times more income and assets than African people. So this is why we say that Black people live under colonialism, and our struggle is for political and economic control over our lives. So I just really want to unite with what you laid out, Comrade Kalambayi, and the statistics bear that out. African people are living in colonial conditions, and we didn't put ourselves in these conditions, but it is our responsibility to get out of it. So that's why I'm so excited to be a part of this program and a part of this effort for African people to control our own food.
Thank you. Yes, I really, really, really appreciate that. And just to say that, I was a family that depended and had SNAP, and, running for office here in St. Louis, someone that I was running against used his political powers to attack me to stop a family from eating. And then just going through the process of this is not, we need Black community control over food stamps because they make it extremely difficult for a family to even receive something that is not reparations that they owe us, and just going through that whole process of what mental condition, I mean, it puts you in like the state of mind. You had to wake up all day. It's a job, and then they tell you like, oh, well, you're just sitting down doing nothing. And that's not true. Like these conditions have been created. And it's us, the people, that have a solution. And this is one of the ways that this is one of the fronts that we are building economic development and building confidence in our ability to solve the different issues in our own community. So this is amazing. Thank you so much. So let's get into this conversation with these amazing guests that we have here. I'm really excited. So first, we're going to talk to Mitch. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm well. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Mitch. So uhuru, Mitch. So we say uhuru. Uhuru is a Swahili word. It means freedom. And we believe that uhuru should be on the lips of all colonized people that is obsessed with the ideal that we have to be free. So we greet each other with uhuru and we depart with uhuru. So uhuru, Mitch, welcome to this edition to the One Africa, One Nation Market webinars. And I had the pleasure of coming to your forum. But before we get into that, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and everything like that.
Yeah, my name is Mitchell Pearson. I moved to St. Louis in 2016. I came here to study the Montessori school system. I'm a retired educator. I've been farming all of my life. I'm an artist. I've never been called activist before until today. But my passion is education. Growing up, it always amazed that the Black experience, particularly farming. I grew up around Black cowboys and that whole culture that wasn't portrayed on television. We would always see these white cowboys, and they had that story, but I was watching the reality of it every day. So having that backdrop, when I left the farm and went to college, and I told people they were Black cowboys, they told me I was out of my mind, So I started showing them all these pictures that I'll show you guys at some point in time. But coming to St. Louis, it was amazing to me to see the disparities around the region. When I was studying the Montessori system, I was going to private schools in Chesterfield, Clayton, South St. Louis, over across the river in Granite City, Platoon Beach, and all around the city, even in St. Louis, North St. Louis, and even North County. And to me, it's a tragedy that our system has allowed certain groups of people, particularly Black folk, to be in this position. Mm-hmm. And I'll question myself, have we ever had liberty as Black people in this country? Have we ever been afforded liberty? I don't think so. I really don't. Because I'm a pre-civil rights child. I was born in 55, and the civil rights didn't take place till the 60s. So I remember what it was like before and what we're doing with now. To zoom in on what we're talking about now, we're talking about liberating us through different channels, through food. When they brought us over here back in 1600, they knew we knew what we were doing with food. We had been doing food for millenniums. We were doing spices. We were, I read this article where, I don't know if you know what caponizing is. Caponizing is castrating roosters, right? I read this, that young African girls had a long pinky fingernail. They could use their fingernail to caponize a rooster.
Mm. Wow. Exactly.
That's what I said. Wow. That in-depthness of agriculture, the knowledge of it, bringing this even further closer to us, local food, fresh food is high in nutrition, right? Which
Right.
battles all of our health conditions. If we had more fresh food, automatically our health would be on the increase. That's just automatic. You know, a plant growing in the soil is a food factory. That factory pulls all the nutrients out of the ground, turns it into food, and you eat it. That's a miracle. And the moment you pick it, the food starts dying, right? So that food you see on your shelf in the grocery store, you don't know how old it is.
Right.
You don't know what it's been through to stay looking pretty. Because if it just sat there, if it was ripe and just natural, it would probably rotted a week ago. But they're doing something to that food, which goes into our bodies. So, you know, we have to really educate our community on health, the growing of food, and farming is democracy. Look at what we're doing now. Just our conversation. We're developing this network of people through conversation, through farming. So, I mean, and as far as Black history is concerned, we have so much wealth in our history, so much wealth. It's amazing. Any field of endeavor you walk into, you're going to find influence of African people. Our whole Western civilization is built on Africa. You know, Egypt really is in Africa. And when Alexander the Great came there, they destroyed that library in Thebes. They destroyed 3,000 years of systematic knowledge. Think about that. And the Greeks and all their plagiarizing, you know, a lot of that Greek information was taken directly from the Egyptians. Not to mention West Africa. I breed thoroughbred horses, and African folks have been breeding horses for thousands of years. You know, so we have what we need to survive. We just need to have the knowledge base, education base, to free us so we can learn. We can have that knowledge at our fingertips. That's why I studied the Montessori system. Montessori system is science driven. Children develop. There's a whole body of knowledge based on child development. Montessori follows that step by step, 5 planes of of educational development. Also, we found out that farming, agriculture, is child development sensitive.
Mm.
When we work in public schools, we get the children involved early on, even preschoolers, in farming, and they take to it like a duck taking the water. You know, and they're amazed at seeds and worms and every facet of agriculture. So if we're infused that agricultural process in our education system, we're going to come out with this whole human being. You know, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? We that's what we have. So my mission here in St. Louis is to use the farm we have in Spanish Lake to connect with communities.
Yes.
And have that democracy, that exchange of ideas and culture. You know, I can
That's
talk all
so
night.
good.
Yeah, I can talk all day about this, but you know,
Well, we love it. We love it, Mitch. I mean, everything you said, so many different things that I wanted to go, you know, ask a little bit more about. I got a chance to come to your garden, and I met other farmers and seen that you build community, and you know, you had, you know, a discussion with farmers for them to be educated on how to, you know, safety first and how to transport foods and things like that. And I also had an opportunity to dig my first sweet potato out the ground. Oh my God, it was amazing. Like, that was my first time on a farm, and I got to see that sweet potatoes. Now I just didn't know, you know, and so I learned that sweet potatoes grow in the ground, and then it's like a I don't know what it's called, that's on top, So Mitch pulls all this up, and then like he used the fork to dig into the ground, and I dig my first sweet potato out the ground. And it was so big, it looked like a heart. It looked like a heart. It was so big, the sweet potato in the ground. And then the stuff on the top of it, he grabs it up and he take it to his goat that he breed goats. And so nothing is wasteful, everything is recycled. And I also was able to get some okra, and I never had seen purple okra before in my life. And I got to pick some purple okra, and I was talking about it earlier. It's nothing like knowing where you got your food from and going home, because usually it's like, oh my God, I gotta cook. But we went in that kitchen, we washed the dirt off those sweet potatoes, and we cut them up, and we made some sweet potatoes, and it was so good, and just the whole experience. And I am the international president of the International People Democratic Uhuru Movement. I'm self-critical if I didn't say that earlier. And one of the things that I do right here in St. Louis, the city, is work with a lot of youth. And when you were talking about you being an educator, that's what we talked about. And so we are going to be working with Mitch to be able to bring the urban kids in this 3rd Ward and 21st Ward to meet a Black farmer, and to be able to go on his land, his acres of land, and see, I got to see turkeys, chicken, a horse, and goat, and pick fruit and vegetables. He has a well on his land as well. And it's just, I just wanted to share my experience, and it really helped me to be able to see that, I do want to bring the youth there. We worked with the youth during a campaign when we ran for office, and we started a homeschool collective with the youth in the 3rd Ward and the 21st Ward and other people that participated in it. And one of the main ingredients that made our educational system positive is that all the people there love our kids. And that's the missing ingredient in schools, that's one of the missing ingredients in the education schools, is it's hostile to our children. They learn in hostile conditions, and and they don't have love for our children. And so the Black community educating our kids and taking them to a farmer like Mitch to be able to see this will really give them they would learn things that they thought they hated in science, by participating in this work. So I just wanted to say that.
Kids don't hate science. Kids love science.
They love science, right?
They love learning. That's the nature of a human being, is to learn. I picked up on something you said just a minute ago about hostile environments in the education environment. As an educator, I taught art. I taught 6th grade for a while, and I taught art. And I would watch how teachers interacted with students as they brought them to my art class. Because I would get all the students in the whole building to come through. We were on a three-day cycle every 3 days. And I came up with this theory about withholding love. Teachers use that tool of withholding love all the time. For example, if you have students in the classroom that are working on something, the teacher walks around and says, "Good job, Susie, good job, Jimmy." Then he'll tell, Bobby, who happens to be Black, "Sit up, be quiet," and she's always saying those kinds of things to him instead of encouraging him. After a while, he tends to drop out because he's not getting that same attention that Johnny sitting next door to him is getting. And it happens throughout our school system all of the time, particularly with young Black males. You guys follow what I'm saying? So,
yes.
So we have to flip that around. We have to use the Montessori system, an independent educational program for each child, so we can identify how they learn, how they perceive the world, and then meet them on their level and guide them to where they want to go.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I didn't know, Dr. Aisha, if you had any further questions for Mitch, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna come back to you, Mitch, but I wanted to open it up to Dr. Aisha Fields if she had any additional questions.
Yeah, I just appreciate the discussion so far, and I appreciate you, Mitch, for sharing your experiences. And I'm wondering if if you have any sense of younger people who are returning to agriculture. Are you working with any young people who are getting into farming? I know that many Africans have lost, particularly where I live in Alabama, have lost so much land, and many Black farmers can't even operate anymore. And there's been a lot of discussion about whether or not there are young people, the children of the farmers, who are going to be able to continue the farming tradition. Do you have any, do you have any relationships with younger farmers or younger cowboys, cowgirls, that will give you any insight as to what it's looking like for this next generation of Black farmers?
Yes, I do. We work with a lot of different groups around the region. And most of the new farmers are, half my age, okay? Which is a good thing. But, the way it works is there are a lot of people who say they want to farm, but farming is a way of life. When I grew up, it was just common practice. You feed those animals, take care of the farm before you eat. You follow what I'm saying? Doesn't matter what the weather is. You have to take care of the animals, the farm first. That means you just can't jump up and go places. You have to say, okay, that's why it's so important to have a farming community. So if I have to leave town, I've got 2 or 3 people that'll manage the farm until I get back. But one of the biggest, strongest movements out there today is the urban farm movement. There are a lot of minority young people that's living in the cities who have a real high interest in farming. But there are drawbacks, buying a farm. It takes a lot of money to initially get into farming. You got to buy tractors, and then the knowledge base. If you know about the Black Farmer Settlement, the Pickford versus Glickman, USDA Black Farmer Settlement, if we won it, we got a little bit of money, but see, here's the tragedy behind that. Not only did we lose land, but we lost generations of knowledge. I was thinking about this, coming by, we talked about that. My father was a farmer, my grandfather was a farmer, and I don't know when there wasn't farmers in our family. I don't know when we've always been in that vein. And we happened to buy a farm right outside of Wichita when my parents came from Arkansas and Oklahoma, which was farm culture. And like I said before, my friends who lived near me, a lot of them moved to the city, and we separated because the cultures were so different. Farming has a whole mindset. You have to be connected to the system. But when you go into the cities and you become more and more marginalized, you disconnect from the system. If you grow or plant, you've got something to sell right there. You can sell that tomato, or you can give it away. You can trade it. So you're in it. You're right in the middle of it right at that point. So what we have to do, I think, is educate, communicate, activate. Our whole culture, the whole thing. Democracy is not a spectator sport. You got to get involved. You got to know the local neighborhood politicians. You got to know who they are, because they're making decisions for you that many times are not in your best interest. Like right now, one of our fights, we were trying to keep Dunbar School open. We've been going back and forth with the city, but we found out that they're, selling out to the charter schools,
Yep.
which are private, private corporate-backed entities, which will further ostracize our communities. So
Yeah.
I can go on and on about different things, but I'll talk about my art for just a second. I'm a color theorist, right? I'm a classically trained oil painter, and I've always worked with skin tones.
Mm.
As an art teacher, I had to teach my children that people don't come in black and white. If people came in black and white, then you'd have great people, right? That makes sense. I had arguments with second graders about color theory, So I started using neutrals in my artwork to talk about color theory, democracy, the African diaspora. The painting you see in the background is a young lady from Cameroon, right? I had she gave me the she modeled for me, and just having that conversation about how we are around this globe, and and how we impact every culture we go into. Like you look at Brazil and South America, there's a strong African culture there. In the Caribbean, Canada, wherever we go, we bring that culture with us, and it's contagious. So I think if we really focus in on our culture and know who, okay, for example, got me talking here. We had the protest Sunday with our Haitian brothers and sisters, and I was talking to one of the Haitian spokespersons, and we both agreed that if it wasn't for a Black Haitian general, we'd be speaking French right here. This would be French territory right today.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a fact.
Wow.
We have to know that. We have to know who we are as a people and just keep building on that.
Mm-hmm.
World.
Really good. That's really good. And we love your art. Yeah, it's so much, Mitch, that you do. And I really love that piece behind you. That is a really nice piece. And is it a way that if people were interested in your artwork that they can reach out to you, Mitch? Is there any way that you can give them that information?
Yeah, just like my email address. We have a website we're building now. It's FiGlobalFarms.com.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have an art show here in the middle of the month. I'll get information to you. But these are originals, so I don't sell the originals, but I will have prints available.
Okay.
Because
right.
I'm keeping these prints for my grandkids. I mean, the originals for my grandkids.
Yeah, right on. Well, Mitch, it has been so awesome from having you here. And please stay. We're going to get into talking to Michael Harris. Mr. Harris, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
You're doing fine. And Mr. Harris has a community garden right here in the 21st Ward.
Right, on Clarence.
On Clarence in the 21st Ward.
Right.
So how long have you been living in the 21st Ward?
About 30 years.
30 years in the 20. So you don't see in this community at its best and at its worst.
Yes.
Yes. Wow. So we're going to get into this discussion with Mr. Harris. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your community garden?
Well, I'm retired from VA Medical Center. I got my degree at WashU.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when I retired, you have to do something when you're retired.
Mm-hmm.
But I had been gardening all along, with my father and all along down through the years.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to, when I moved from where I used to live, I had a garden, a lot right next to the house. And then I had to drive over there and do my gardening and drive back. And so in where I live now, they tore down a 4-family flat.
Mm-hmm.
And so grass got cut once a month and it always looked bad. So another neighbor said, well, what should we do with that? I said, well, we should put a garden on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started small and got different raised beds, and we got into Gateway Greening, which gave us a lot of help with gardening materials and things.
Mhm.
And so we've been gardening ever since. And we just get different people in the block who also wanted to garden. And we right now we've got 2 house lots. We
Okay.
expanded to 2 house lots. So we added fruit trees on one lot and flowers. And then we grow vegetables on the other one.
Yeah, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. You know, and you have had the experience with being a vendor at the One Africa, One
Yes.
Nation Market.
Yeah, this is the first year I've sold anything.
This is the first year you sold anything. So how has that been?
That's been good.
It's been good. You like the experience? So I know that you heard about the Uhuru House, and how did you, started being a vendor?
Well, he came to Gateway Greening. Guy came to Gateway Greening and was telling us about this Saturday market. But so I had some extra stuff in the garden. So I thought I'd just bring it up to the market and see what happens.
Right. And it went well.
It sold out.
Sold out.
Right on.
Sold out.
Right
Yes,
on.
sold out.
Right
And I
on.
know I purchased me some. And I was like, oh my God, again, I believe I had bought some kale. It was the best kale. Again, I think it's the person you buying it from. That whole experience,
Yeah.
walking up in the 21st Ward on the north side, you know what I'm saying, to a black farmer and purchasing it and then taking it in the kitchen. The whole experience is just really, really powerful. So we just really appreciate you here and so happy that you have been a part of our One Africa, One Nation market. You haven't missed one market,
No.
just the rain in one
Yeah.
we just had
Yeah.
because of the rain. But we on and popping tomorrow, Saturday.
But I don't have any.
No.
It's at the end of the season.
It's the end of the season. It
I
is.
am starting up mustard greens and other greens, and I participate with the middle school,
Mhm.
and I've got some raised beds over there,
Mhm.
and it's starting to grow.
Okay. So do the youth get to participate?
Oh yeah, they planted the seeds. Some of them planted too many seeds.
They overseed it. Huh?
Yeah, but it's part of I think they like the activity outside.
The activity
And
outside.
something new to do at the school.
Mhm.
And so, and we got garden plots starting up in the garden. We got
Mhm.
mustard greens started in the garden, but it's gonna be 1st of November before they're ready to harvest.
Okay. So so have you just been doing greens, like the greens, the cabbage, and
No, we do, we've had strawberries, we had blackberries. This was the first year that our fruit trees started to produce, but the fruit told us that it was too soon to try to let them grow. So they'll probably be growing next year.
next year? So fruit trees are like apple trees and
Yeah, we got a pear tree, we got 2 peach trees and 2 apple trees.
Mhm. So I'm gonna bring Dr. Aisha Fields in and see if she had wanted to join in this amazing conversation with Michael Harris. Just really always a pleasure to see you. Come to the market and things like that. I just really just get a kick out of it. It's just so amazing. I remember when you came the first time. You didn't know what was gonna happen. You had the little cord tape. It's like, okay, I'm just here. Let's see. And then it was like, whoa, I don't wait. So, everybody was really happy to get those greens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Mr. Harris, first of all, I just really want to appreciate this discussion. And I really want to thank you for being a community-minded person. I mean, for taking the initiative to develop a community solution for that open space. This system teaches us to only think of ourselves. That's what it does. It teaches us to think of us first, maybe family and children second, but outside of that, you're doing too much. And that's not how African people, that's not how Black people have traditionally moved. But for you to, to recognize that there should be a community solution to that empty space. You shouldn't just have grass growing wild in the community. That's land that could be put to productive use. So I really want to appreciate you for making the effort to create that fantastic community garden and community space. And I wanted to ask you, why do you think it's important for Black people to grow our own food for our own households or even in collective situations? Why should we grow our own food? Why is that important?
For me, it's better than the supermarket. I don't eat tomatoes out of the supermarket. I eat them when I grow them. They taste much better to me. And the local confectionery stores around near the house, they've got chips and junk food. That's all they got. And that's so. And I've had blood pressure. And so if I eat what I eat out of the garden, I can control it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I like to go to the doctor.
Yes.
He checks my blood pressure. He said, well, okay, you can go home.
That's it.
He
Sound like a materialist to me.
He doesn't change my medication. So, oh, well,
Yes.
that's all you can go
Yes.
home.
What are you, 50? You're a young man.
No, I'm not 50. I'm 73.
Wow, looking good. See, this is why we gotta grow our own food.
That's right.
So we can
That's
look
right.
like my parents.
That's right. That's
We need
right.
to grow our food because it's something in the garden that rejuvenates you.
Yes.
It's true
Yeah.
though. I'm joking, but it's serious, and in a material way, it's just simple as that, the more control we have over our own life, the more control over we know what's going in our food, and it's better for us. And anytime we don't have power to say what our communities look like, then they could put a junk store on our corner.
Right.
And they prohibit, and make it very difficult and expensive for us to be able to garden our own foods. So I just think that, even what, Mitch was saying earlier about knowing our elected officials, that our communities are not just communities with food desert issues and food problems because we did it to ourselves. Because we have people like Michael Harris in our community. As we have always said, like Chairman has always said, we have a good community. The 21st Ward and the 3rd Ward and the north side of St. Louis and Black communities all over the US are good communities filled with Michael Harris's and Mitch, in our community. But we also have an issue of neo-colonial puppets that are politicians, and neo-colonial is white power in blackface. So we have people that represent the Black community that don't have the Black community interest at heart and make it difficult. Because these lands that we're talking about probably was an LRA property.
Right.
Or LRA properties. And a lot of times people have very difficult processes into, acquiring the land. Like you said, that they wasn't upkeeping it. It always looked bad. It's and it's right there next door to your house. So why not allow, like we said on our campaign, allow the LRA be a way of a bank of properties that we can build more community gardens.
Yeah.
Not having politicians that would try to stop the One Africa, One Nation market from happening and never do anything to uplift it or try to help build it or anything. But, instead you were here, the first market where they call the police and the market is a positive response, right?
Right.
We have a good time.
Right.
It's safe.
Yeah.
And it's uplifting to everybody, community, no issues. But still, we will have certain politicians that will call the police on the people that come into conclusions to save our own community. Our community is good. And that's why the One Africa, One Nation market is so powerful. And we just really want to, again, salute, Deputy Chair Ona Zenaida Shatella, that is the president of this amazing organization. and then just, just providing the necessary leadership to fight and never, ever give it up. No matter how many times they call the police, no matter how many times they try to take our permits, we have been relentless because we have unity with the people in this community, that this is positive and the people saying we want this. So long as we have that, we can't be stopped. So
Right on.
I just want to, again, wanted to see if there's anything else that you wanted to tell the viewers about how they can get in contact with you, or anything you would like to say.
Well, they can just come by the garden and they'll see us, so we'll see them.
Okay, so yeah, you could come by the garden. He's inviting you, and you could always catch him at the One Africa, One Nation Market. We got 2 more markets this Saturday from 9 to 2. Come on down. We're going to have a great, amazing time. And also on October 30th is our big market. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a safe, fun Halloween festival in Black Power. It's going to be a good time. So we're going to have a lot of things coming for that as well. Goodies for the kids, safe things for the kids, and just amazing program. Okay, so you don't want to miss that. So again, I want to thank all of our Dr. Aisha Fields for joining us today. We really appreciate you. I hope somebody can drop the link to ABDEP, donate to this organization, be a part of this organization, bring those skills so we can organize together and fight together, because I have learned so much about farmers that we didn't even get to talk about, of just various different attacks that the state try to put on taking land. So this is why organization is important, and being able to have a thinking representative of the Black community, where farmers can educate each other and learn from each other and share what's happening from one farm to another farm, to help us to continue to build our efforts of liberation through, I seen a quote somebody said, and I was going to say it, growing the revolution. You know what I'm saying? We're going to grow the revolution by building these farms. So uhuru to that, and really want to appreciate Mitch and Michael Harris for coming on, and Comrade Malika, the Midwest Region Rep. Thank you for emceeing, and everybody behind the scenes that you can see that made this possible. We appreciate you, and everybody that's viewing from Facebook or whatever platform you're watching. Share this. Let's get the word out. Come down to the One Africa, One Nation Market. Check out our website and be a part of it. We're always looking for volunteers, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of the solution. It's not what we say, it's what we do. So I'm going to turn this show right back over to Comrade Malika.
Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Wow, this has been a great and a powerful show tonight. And we want to salute Dr. Aisha Fields and Mr. Pearson and Mr. Harris for just being here, and just for sharing your love for seeing healthy options come to our community, and just for the knowledge that you brought to the table on this issue. We so appreciate that. As President Colombayi, we salute her as well. As she said, the market is going to be held this Saturday. That's October the 2nd, this Saturday, October 2nd, from 9 to 2. And it's going to be at 4031 West Florissant at Alice Avenue. It's going to be right there happening, going down. You're going to see all the vendors, all the colorful tents, all the kids out running, playing double dutch, hula hoop, just anything that you can think of, different kinds of line dancing. I think I heard somebody say something about some Zumba or something this time. And so just come on out and experience that whole thing of family and just being out there and just community. That's what it's all about. If you want to volunteer, shop, or to vend, then let us know. Go to our website and register at oneafricamarket.com. That's oneafricamarket.com. That's where you go to volunteer or to shop or to vend. We're going to have the One Africa One Nation Market, this time on the 2nd. And as President Columbai said, on October 30th, then we're gonna have a Halloween themed market that is going to be a great for the kids, and just come out, and if you want to donate to that, you can go to the blackpowerblueprint.org and get all the information and find out how you can donate to any of the projects that you have heard mentioned tonight. Again, this is the One African One Nation Market. You don't want to miss it. It's going down in North St. Louis. Again, this has been the Black Power Blueprint Live, and I am happy to have been your MC for tonight. I'm Malika Bukechi, and just tune in with us. We come to you all the time, bringing you what's happening and what our movement is doing to bring all kinds of things to our African community, to bring life to the African community. I saw in here, a community that was once left for dead. And we're right here in the middle of it, and we're seeing it come back to life. So you want to come out on Saturday to see what's happening and to be a part of all the excitement. Again, that's Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 4031 West Florissant Avenue at Alice. You will be able to acquire fresh fruits and vegetables. You can come and buy clothes, jewelry, scents, different kinds of things, and you can just enjoy the whole atmosphere of being among the family. Again, we thank you for joining us tonight for the Black Power Blueprint Live, which has come to you from North St. Louis, the home of the Uhuru House and Aquaba Hall. And Uhuru